The cabin lights glowed soft amber as passengers settled into their seats on Flight 847 to Atlanta. Zara Mitchell moved down the aisle with quiet confidence, her navy blue blazer crisp against her shoulders. She found seat 2A, first class, window side. Perfect. She placed her leather bag in the overhead compartment, then sank into the plush seat, already reaching for her tablet. The flight would give her 2 hours to review the quarterly reports before the board meeting. A shadow fell across her lap. Excuse me. The voice was sharp, cold. I think you're in the wrong section. Zara looked up. The flight attendant stood there, blonde hair pulled back tight, nameplate reading Rebecca Nash. Her smile was thin, didn't reach her eyes. Something ugly lurked behind that professional mask. I'm sorry. Zara kept her voice level, though her heart rate ticked up. She knew this tone. She'd heard it before. Coach is in the back, Rebecca said, louder now. Heads turned. You'll need to move. Zara pulled her boarding pass from her pocket, held it up. Seat RA. First class. That's what my ticket says. Rebecca barely glanced at it. These tickets can be forged. I'm going to need you to gather your things and move to the rear of the aircraft. The cabin had gone quiet. Passengers watched, some with phones already out, recording. An older white man in Sun-B shook his head, looked away. A young couple across the aisle leaned forward, concerned. My ticket isn't forged, Zara said, each word measured, deliberate. I paid for this seat. I'm staying in this seat. Rebecca's face flushed red. Don't make this difficult. I have the authority to remove disruptive passengers. I'm not being disruptive, Zara replied. I'm sitting quietly in my assigned seat. You're the one causing a scene. We'll see about that. Rebecca spun on her heel, marched toward the front galley. She grabbed the intercom phone, spoke in harsh whispers. Zara caught fragments. Problem passenger. Refusing to comply. Needs security. 2 minutes later, a security guard appeared. Dennis Cole, his badge said. Tall, muscular, with tired eyes that had seen too much drama at 30,000 feet. What's the situation? He asked. Rebecca pointed at Zara like she was evidence at a crime scene. She's in first class with what I believe is a fraudulent ticket. She's refusing to move. Dennis turned to Zara. Ma'am, can I see your boarding pass and ID? Zara handed them over, calm, controlled. She'd been preparing for this moment her entire life, though she hoped it would never come. Not here. Not now. Not in 2025, when things were supposed to be better. Dennis examined both documents carefully. He scanned the boarding pass with his handheld device. The light blinked green. Valid. Paid in full. First class, seat RA. Everything checks out, Dennis said, handing the documents back. He looked at Rebecca. Her ticket is legitimate. That's impossible, Rebecca snapped. Run it again. I don't need to run it again, Dennis said, frustration creeping into his voice. The system confirmed it. She's exactly where she's supposed to be. I want her moved, Rebecca insisted, arms crossed. Now. The cockpit door opened. Captain James Fletcher stepped out, silver-haired, weathered face, 30 years of flying etched into every line. What's going on out here? We're 10 minutes behind schedule. Rebecca straightened, shifted her tone to something sweeter, more reasonable. Captain, we have a passenger situation. This woman is claiming she has a first-class ticket, but I have concerns about its validity. Captain Fletcher looked at Zara, then at Dennis. What does security say? Tickets valid, sir, Dennis reported. Fully paid, properly assigned. No issues whatsoever. The captain's jaw tightened. He understood immediately. He'd seen this before, too many times. Then I don't understand the problem, Rebecca. I just think we should verify we did verify, Captain Fletcher cut her off. The passenger is in her correct seat. Let's get this aircraft moving. Rebecca's face went hard, mean. With all due respect, Captain, I know the type of people who can afford first class, and she stopped talking. The captain's voice dropped to us. Right now. Zara reached into her purse, pulled out her phone. She dialed a number, held it to her ear. The cabin stayed silent, everyone watching, waiting. Marcus, it's Zara, she said quietly. I need you to come to gate 12, flight 847. Bring Patricia with you. Yes, now. Thank you. She ended the call, placed the phone in her lap, looked up at Rebecca with steady eyes. You might want to wait a moment before this flight takes off, Captain. Who did you just call? Rebecca demanded. Zara didn't answer. She simply sat there, hands folded, breathing slow, and even while the storm built around her, 5 minutes passed. The cabin door opened again. 2 people entered. Marcus Green wore a sharp charcoal suit, carried a tablet under his arm. Behind him came Patricia Ramos, CEO of Summit Airlines, recognizable from every industry magazine, every news report about aviation leadership. Patricia's eyes swept the cabin, landed on Zara, then moved to Rebecca. Her expression went from confusion to comprehension to horror in 3 seconds flat. Miss Mitchell, Patricia said, voice strained. I apologize for this delay. What seems to be the problem? Rebecca's confidence flickered. Miss Mitchell? Who is Zara Mitchell? Marcus said, pulling up documents on his tablet. Majority shareholder of Summit Airlines. She owns 52% of this company. Which means, technically, she owns this aircraft, this crew, and every seat on this plane. The color drained from Rebecca's face like water from a broken glass. Patricia stepped forward, hands clasped, professional mask firmly in place despite the fury in her eyes. Miss Nash, is it true you attempted to remove Miss Mitchell from her seat? Rebecca's mouth opened, closed, opened again. I didn't know. I thought. You thought what? Zara spoke for the first time since making the call. Her voice was soft but carried through the cabin like thunder. You thought I didn't belong here because of the color of my skin. You saw a black woman in first class and decided, without any evidence, that I must be in the wrong place. You humiliated me in front of all these people. You called security. You questioned my integrity, my honesty, my right to be here. Tears welled in Rebecca's eyes, but Zara wasn't finished. I built my career in finance. Worked 80-hour weeks. Earned every dollar that bought these shares. I chose to invest in Summit Airlines because I believed in its values, its commitment to treating every passenger with dignity and respect. Apparently, I was wrong. Patricia's voice was still. Miss Nash, you're terminated, effective immediately. Surrender your badge and uniform pin. Security will escort you off this aircraft. Rebecca's hands shook as she unpinned her wings, handed them over. Dennis took her gently by the elbow, guided her toward the exit. She looked back once at Zara, opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. What could she say? Sorry didn't cover it. Sorry didn't undo the damage, the assumption, the casual cruelty. When they were gone, Patricia addressed the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this delay and this inexcusable incident. Every passenger on this flight will receive a full refund and complimentary first-class tickets for your next journey with Summit Airlines. We can do better. We will do better. She turned to Zara. Miss Mitchell, I'm so deeply sorry. This shouldn't have happened. It will never happen again. Zara nodded slowly. Make sure of that, Patricia. Real change starts with accountability. Train your staff better. Hire more diverse crews. Create systems where this kind of discrimination gets caught before it escalates. I'll be watching. You have my word, Patricia promised. She and Marcus exited the aircraft, Captain Fletcher approached Zara's seat. "Ma'am, on behalf of this crew, I apologize. You deserve better from us." "Thank you, Captain," Zara said. "Let's get to Atlanta." He nodded, returned to the cockpit. The engines hummed to life. As the plane pushed back from the gate, Zara felt the eyes of other passengers on her. Some nodded with respect. Others looked away, embarrassed. They watched in silence. A young black girl, maybe 10 years old, walked up from coach with her mother. "Excuse me," the girl said shyly. "Are you really the owner?" Zara smiled, the first genuine smile since boarding. "I am." "That's so cool," the girl breathed. "I want to own an airline someday too." "Then work hard, study hard, and never let anyone tell you where you don't belong," Zara said. "You belong anywhere you have the courage to sit down and stay." The girl beamed, returned to her seat with her mother, who mowed a silent thank you. As Flight 847 climbed into the clouds, Zara looked out the window at the world below. The fight wasn't over. It never really was. But today, justice had won. Today, dignity had been restored. Today, a little girl learned that she could own the sky, and that was worth every uncomfortable moment. The cabin settled into peaceful quiet. Zara opened her tablet, returned to those quarterly reports. She had work to do. She always did. But now, she did it knowing that tomorrow, because of today, things might be just a little bit better. The plane flew on through clear skies, carrying its passengers toward Atlanta, toward home, toward hope.